What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and as we start to learn more about what exactly went down on the set of Rust, more and more people are starting to speak out. And since the very beginning, when this happened, you had members of the crew, both named and unnamed sources, as well as people that had worked on previous films with some of the people involved. They started to speak out. They started to tell their stories. But now, we're hearing from some of the people who are actually involved themselves in this tragic shooting that happened when Alec Baldwin killed Helena Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza. We saw the armorer, the inexperienced 24-year-old armorer, give a statement with her lawyers, essentially saying, listen, we tried to tell the producers it was unsafe, but you can't really hold me accountable for anything that happened. I tried my best, but I was overwhelmed. Then you had Alec Baldwin, who yesterday, in a very strange discussion with the press, with the media that had been following him around, he says, well, the sheriff told me I can't talk about it. I just can't talk about anything, guys. Well, then he proceeded to speak for about 3 minutes on the topic while essentially just passing any and all blame and honestly not even really sounding that upset about the entire thing. It was not a good look for him. One person that we have not heard too much from is Dave Halls, the assistant director, who has already made some admissions to police that, aren't going to look good for him, because we talked about this headline. Assistant director on Rust set told police he didn't check all the rounds in the Colt revolver before handing it to Alec Baldwin. And he is staying pretty much radio silent for the most part. I would not be surprised if his representatives come out with a statement in the near future, but we are starting to hear more from other people that knew him who said they had warned the production staff, warned the producers, which would include Alec Baldwin, about his safety problems in the past, specifically in regards to firearms. And that does not look good for anyone involved in that. Take a look. Rust producers were warned about Dave Hall's safety issues on a previous film. A crew member told Variety he warned producers of Rust that Dave Halls, the first assistant director, was cavalier about set safety during previous production. Halls has admitted to investigators he failed to properly check a gun before handing it to Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust on October 21st. Baldwin fired that gun while rehearsing a scene, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins and wounding the director. The production companies credited on Rust include Thomasville Pictures, led by Ryan Smith and Alan Cheney, as well as Short Porch Pictures, run by Nathan Klinger and Ryan Winsterstern, among others. The same two companies also produced One Way, another independent film shot in Georgia. Halls served as the first assistant director on that project as well. During filming, the crew member, and we're going to hear from a lot of different people in this article. Some of them are named, some of them are not named, but a lot of people did go ahead and put their names on these allegations. During filming, the crew member said he witnessed an unsafe situation in which cars were being driven in an open field by local people who are not stunt drivers. The crew member, who asked not to be identified, said he specifically warned the producers that Halls was putting the crew in jeopardy. That man is a liability. He's going to fucking kill someone someday, and you're going to be responsible. This is what he said. He warned the producers that Halls was putting the crew in jeopardy. A second crew member on One Way also said there were safety problems involving Halls and vehicles on set. This person said there was a scene with a car hit that had inadequate crew, and the background actors were driving cars instead of stunt drivers. They put me in a position of danger. They're getting bottom of the barrel people. A third crew member confirmed he heard about safety issues involving Halls and vehicles from a fourth person on set. Jay Graves, here's a named person. The set dresser on One Way told Variety he was nearly clipped by a car twice during the production. He said they were filming on a street, but that the street was not completely closed, such that cross traffic was able to drive through the set between takes. It was the least safe I've ever worked on least safe set I've ever worked on in my life. Another crew member, Jared Tyree, was on set for a day, and he said production shut down for 30 minutes after two vehicles nearly collided. So you have all these people that were involved with this previous production that Dave Halls was on coming out and saying this was not a safe environment. He had no control of the situation, was very cavalier regarding safety. And they passed that up to the production staff, who then hired him for the next job anyway. Now, one of the people right here, a spokesperson, provided a quote, the line producer from One Way, who denied there were any safety issues. Of course, because the people that are in charge are not going to admit that these things happen. Otherwise, it's going to be like, well, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you say something? What could you be held liable for? They say, I can attest with 100% certainty that One Way was extremely safety conscious and all safety protocols were followed during the shoot. I'm sickened by these sources trying to capitalize on such a horrific accident. And here's the kicker, the thing we already talked about. Halls was also fired from another project, Freedom's Path, in 2019 after an incident involving a gun that went off unexpectedly, according to that film's producers. So you're starting to see a pattern, you're starting to see a history with Dave Halls, and I think a lot of people are going to try to target him for this. I've said from the beginning, I think there's a lot of blame and culpability to go around between the armorer, the inexperienced armorer, between Dave Halls, and of course, between Alec Baldwin, not only as the man who was holding this gun, but also as the producer on scene for this Rust movie. But I just get the feeling that, based on Alec Baldwin's retweeting articles, basically putting all the blame on the assistant director, and now we're starting to see articles like this. Rust first assistant director Dave Halls is not a DGA member, opting for FICOR status, but took mandatory safety training. So they're basically now trying to say, well, he's not a full member of the union. He must not like the union. He must not like the politics surrounding the union. That's where this is going to go. They're going to start trying to go after his character in that type of way, vice just everything that's happened in his history on set. Exclusive. Dave Halls is not a DGA member, even though the film was being produced in New Mexico under a DGA contract. Halls, who the Santa Fe Sheriff's Department has identified as the person who handed Baldwin the gun, is what's commonly known as a financial core non-member or an agency fee paying non-member, meaning he either chose not to join DGA or had resigned his membership. Joel Souza, the director, is a DGA member. DGA rules require if you're an assistant director, unit production manager, associate director, stage manager, you must take safety pass training. Now, although he is not a full-fledged member, it is reported he did take the mandatory safety training, so he has done that. Financial core status is rare in the entertainment industry. The U.S. Department of Labor defines agency fee paying non-members as those who make payments in lieu of dues to the reporting labor organization as a condition of employment. Financial core members pay only that portion of union dues that goes directly towards covering the costs of collective bargaining, but they don't pay the part that goes to lobbying or political activities. So a lot of people in the industry look at people that are just FICOR members as people that, well, they don't care about the union. They don't want to lobby. They don't want to do political activities that the union wants to do. So we're not too far away from talking about who this guy voted for and why he should be to blame for this. That's honestly the course that I see this taking over the next couple days as people start to dig into him, to be quite honest with you. But I've said, I will maintain, there's a lot of culpability to go around for this. You can't blame just one person. Even though Alec Baldwin is the last one in the line that could have stopped this from happening and should have stopped this from happening, there's more blame than just for him. But it looks like a lot of it may be focused on this assistant director, Dave Halls. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.